Left tackle Riley Reiff is the perfect analogy for the Minnesota Vikings. Way overpaid, Midwestern, corn-fed, Busch Lights, swigging, hot dish, shoveling, does well versus bad competition, but completely craps the bed against good competition, but it averages out to slightly above average, so you're like, all right. But even though there's a clear succession plan in place at left tackle with the addition of second-round pick Ezra Cleveland, our guy coming out of Boise State, the weird-ass offseason will likely force the Vikings to roll with the former 2012 first-round pick at left tackle for at least one more year. And also, fun fact, as we pointed out here before, Riley Reiff was the second offensive tackle taken in the 2012 draft. You know who's number one? Matt Khalil at number 4. Great. Wonderful. So, is Reiff salvageable? Question mark? There we go. Am I under any illusion that he will suddenly not be Riley Reiff, that he'll suddenly flip the switch and become Anthony Munoz 2.0? No, but what he is, respect. Throughout his career, he's been a very solid middle-of-the-pack, prime meridian, just like okay. Just very okay, just slightly above okay left tackle. So there you go. But what he is, like we said, is average. You know, he's basically what it is. He's like, if you've ever been stuck in an airport and you've been hungry, so you get a turkey sandwich, and it's nothing to write home about. It's like normal bread. Oh, maybe it's like cracked wheat bread, and then it's like deli turkey and like a piece of Swiss cheese that's been ultra processed, whatever, and then a limp piece of tomato that is grow in a lab with a pen and pad. Try and get this damn label off. Some mayonnaise that that's been just like sitting around for like months. Great, but then they still charge you $12.99 for it because it's at the airport. That's Riley Reiff. It is, because, it's a turkey sandwich. It's fine. Your turkey sandwich is perfectly decent for a quick lunch or a dinner or whatever, but, you're getting gouged. You know what you're doing, right? It's the same thing with Riley Reiff. So, but money-wise, like we said, even though it feels like you're getting gouged, Reiff is a reasonable contract. 14th highest paid left tackle in the NFL in terms of average per year. He's slated to make $11 million in new cash this season with a $13.2 million cap hit. Now, again, the beef isn't so much the money, it's that the Vikings aren't obligated to pay it because none of his base salary, the remaining 2 years of his deal, is guaranteed. Vikings could move on from Riley Reiff, have only $4.4 million dead over the next 2 years if he's designated a post-June 1st cut, meaning the Vikings would free up $11 million in cap space in 2020 and $11.75 million in cap space in 2021. So it's like, what? Why haven't you done it yet? Yeah, the Vikings are hard-pressed against the cap. Hashtag cap is a myth. And this is one of the reasons why the cap is a myth, because the Vikings could easily get out from years 4 and 5 of the Riley Reiff deal for no muss, no fuss, but they haven't. That's a frustrating thing, right? Also, Reiff not showing up in big games, like I pointed out. The 2 games against the Packers last year, as well as Week 4 at Chicago, as well as the division round game against San Francisco, 4 pretty important games, right? They were Reiff's 4 lowest PFF graded games of the season, 58.8, 48.9, 55.4, and 51.1 respectively. Not great. Also, Reiff gave up 32 pressures and 6 sacks last season, which is slightly below average for a left tackle. But here's the rub too. 16, exactly one half of those pressures and 3 sacks, exactly one half of those sacks were given up in those 4 games that we mentioned. The 2 against Packers, at Chicago, and division round against the Niners. Not great. Also, 4 of his 9 penalties of the season were in those said 4 games as well. So, like we said, does great against bad competition, craps the bed against elite competition. And also, he turns 32 in December. He ain't changing his stripes. He is what he is. So, the Vikings may be forced to roll with him at left tackle for this year. So, what do you do? Well, our optimal plan, again, just let's get nuts here. I don't think that Kubiak and Dennison will do it, given the offseason, given the coaches by their nature are relatively conservative. But kick Reiff into guard, play Ezra Cleveland at left tackle. But again, that's not like it with his coaching staff, as well as make Reiff take a big pay cut. But also, if you do have him remain as your starting left tackle, approach him right before the season with the pay cut ultimatum. Yeah, pull the Alex Boone, pull the Jonathan Sullivan on him, give him the old fam, right? Tear up the final year of the deal, change it to a 1-year deal, reduce that base salary from $11 million down to say 7, save $4 million in cap, and guess what? He ain't gonna get to the open market. He ain't gonna get that on the open market, as well as since jobs and caps are already spent. He ain't going to get a starting job week 1 with a couple of days before the season. And also, if he's not on a roster week 1, that means that his salary for the season is not guaranteed. So all that factored in, gives the Vikings a ton of leverage, and I think they could actually get that done. So I think that is the compromise that should be approached. All right, so Riley Reiff, he's fine. Roll with him for another year, but not at sticker price, not at retail. No, not knock that thing down a little bit, and it becomes much more palatable, right? And then in big game against premium edge rushers, give 71 as much help as possible. Now, I know it's not ideal. Ideally, you would have a competent left tackle that you can sort of leave on the island, but it's reality. In reality, you do have to scheme away from 71 as much as possible and just get through the season and potentially warm Ezra Cleveland up. Maybe he will be that future franchise left tackle. I think he certainly could, but it is what it is. I would have moved on from Reiff early in the offseason. They didn't do it. They can still trade him for Desmond King. Probably not going to happen. So there you go. All right, but your thoughts. Is Riley Reiff salvageable? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.